everybody, this is Jen from Scrapbook and Posh, and I am here today with the Artistic Studio Creation Design Team project. And this has been a series of tutorials doing completing this book from the cover all the way to the end, and today we are going to use the Ciao Bella and Stamperia paper pads in order to mat all the pages. So just to go through real quick, we designed these pages a couple weeks ago, and I will link the start of the series below. And today we put pattern paper on it. So hopefully you guys are enjoying this slower, kind of easygoing, like a craft should be tutorial, and not feeling like you have to rush through it. I know I'm enjoying it. So just stay tuned and you can mat all these pages with me, and next week will be the final video. It will be the fourth video in the series for the book, and then I'm gonna make a fifth video for the charm. And next week we'll be doing the tags and the decorating. So just to show you, I started with the two paper pads, the Stamperia and the Ciao Bella. I have this paper left, and there was some very small pieces that I threw away, so lots of paper left for tags. And then I have, let me use that probably, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 complete full sheets 12 by 12 left. Plus I have the 6 by 6 paper pad. I took out half of the 6 by 6 pages, so those are somewhere. Here they are. 12 pieces of the 6 by 6 paper that I used one of them, and then the cut parts. That's the cut part for that. And then I also have these 12 by 12 papers that I'm going to use for tags and cut aparts. So if you wanted to use these papers not as cut aparts but as, you know, pattern paper, you could have probably got away with one paper stack for this album, but I really do like the variation of the two different companies coming together. Very similar, yet you know there is different styles. So alright, so stay tuned next week, and we'll show you how we mat this whole thing. We'll see you later. Head on over to Artistic Studio Creations to grab yourself some awesome paper. We'll see you later. Thanks a lot. Bye bye. Hi everybody, let's continue on with this grand party, and today we are going to start matting our pages and making this journey album come alive again. This is going to be the third video. First video we do the cover with the rice paper to give it that vintagey look and to use your beautiful rice papers on your cover. The second week we did our pages, and today we're going to start matting our pages. I do not think that we will get through the entire thing, but let's see what trouble we can make. And we are going to mix it up a little bit. We're going to use the Stamperia pad, the Voyages Fantastiques, and we are going to use the Ciao Bella Voyages Extraordinaire. So both beautiful images, both travel related, both similar color schemes. I'm good with this. I think this is going to be very nice. And I don't think that the rice paper here and this one went together, but you know. So let's start with the hardest part. I'm going to go ahead and mix these up, because if I don't, I will not I'll miss something. Okay, so I'm going to take that out of the way. I'm Got my brown cardstock. I have some cream cardstock here for, you know, just a little variation in mats and stuff. And the first thing we need to do, I'm going to go ahead and start with the cover. I want to mat this entire cover. It's going to hold down my closure here, and it's also going to hold down the other part of my hinge, which, you know, is coming up a little bit, but that's okay. So the first thing I want to do is mat the front and back covers. The other thing to keep in mind is that your larger spaces that you're not going to turn into smaller spaces, you want to mat those first to conserve your paper. You know, this obviously you have, this can be one side here and this can be another side with these beautiful images, but if you start out by just taking, you know, a small part, then you won't be able to use those on a full page like that. So to start, I think sometimes I'm like, oh, let's just leave it plain, and then sometimes I think this image is probably pretty close to the perfect size, so I can't not use this. Now, do I want to use it at the beginning or the end? Because if I use it at the beginning here, that's nearly the perfect size, guys. If I use it at the beginning, then I can't put any special flips or flaps on that. I'm good with that. Let's go ahead and cut that out. We'll use that at the beginning. The paper, this is the Stamperia, and the set is already distressed around the sides, so I'm not going to worry about that. Looks like I'm going to have just like a tiny bit extra, like if I were to have cut this, and I still could have done it, but if I were to cut this, I would have left maybe 1/8 of an inch more on there, but I'm good. And I need to cut about 1/8 inch off all the way around, so I'm going to cut like a 1/16 here and a 1/16 here. Let's see if that'll do it. I need a little bit more because it's still going into the crease there. Let's try that. Yeah, that's good. Okay, and I'm going to use score tape to put this on. And this is one of the things that holds the album together. Move this paper in the back so you guys can see. So I do recommend that you use strong adhesive on it, whether that be glue or score tape, whatever works in your area. At least around the outside. On the inside I'll use ATG. And ATG is pretty strong, but it's not as strong as the score tape. And 1/4 inch here. There we go. And then when I get to decorating, which may be next week, but when I get to decorating the album with the extra bits and bobs, I may put some gears on this page. I really think that that would do it right. Now, I said that you know, it left like a 1/4 inch short. I think I'm gonna put the difference all the way down the bottom and then put a trim up at the top. Let's do that. So I move it, I leave like a 1/16 at the bottom and along this edge here, and then I'm leaving a bigger gap up top there, and you can see there's probably a good 3/8 of an inch there, which is fine. I'll put a little trim hanging down, or maybe like the gears up there or something. Okay, and then like I said, we're going to cover our big surfaces, so let's go ahead and find the paper for the back also. And then we'll go through and find paper for the back of each page, because that page is a full one. It's going to give you a chance to display some of your awesome images, not have to break them up. I like the clock. I think I'm going to use her. I really like her. So my measurement here is going to be, we'll do 6 1/8. Okay, so I cut my paper for this side, and it is 6 by 7 7/8. And again, I'm going to use score tape along the outside. And then I was searching, I was going to go ahead and find paper for the rest, which I may do still, except I couldn't find any paper besides the other half of the sheet that I wanted to go with this side, because it has like a green tint. So I've come to the conclusion that we're going to add a pocket to the other side in order to use the scraps from this and not use the images that I really like. So I'll show you how to do that. Line it up against this side. And should have about a 1/16 of an inch around the top and bottom. Okay. There we go. Beautiful image. Now I decided that this piece here, which was the top, no, yeah, it was somehow the top of this, or maybe it must have gone like this. Yeah, it went that. So I want this side with these balloons here, and then this is the cut off from the front. I thought we could put that on the bottom. So the first thing I'm going to do is cut this one to size, and should be 5. I go 5 and 9/16, one little duber over the 5 1/2. That looks good. I'm going to punch this corner. And that is the stub punch. And we can just put ATG here. Actually, before I put that on, let's set that aside. Let's go ahead and make the pocket. Because if you kind of tuck this into the pocket a little bit, you it helps things along. So we're going to make this pocket 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So I'm going to get my brown paper back out. I don't have a piece that I've already cut big enough for that. So it's 4 1/4 high. We're going to go ahead and cut the 4 1/4. And then the 5 1/2. This way we're going to cut 6 1/2. Score a 1/2 inch on both sides. I think it could have gone a little bigger. I'm just gonna so 5 1/2 would have been the mat. I should have cut it at 5 5/8. Let's do it again. Don't want to mess it up. 4 1/4 by 6 5/8. There we go. Now we'll score this. 1/2 inch on both sides. So because it's an 1/8 inch measurement, I'm just going to flip it around and do 1/2 inch both sides. Alright, smooth side out for this one. Do the dry fit again. I'm still like an 1/8 inch off. But I'm good with that. I'll punch the corner. And we'll glue this one on. I'm going to center it a bit. You should just be able to tuck that down because I cut it a little short. It's not tucking very well. It's the same size as. Okay. Trim a tiny bit. Okay, and then this one looks good. Okay, and then let's go ahead and find paper for the back pages. Again, you're looking at, we're gonna go 5 5/8 by 7 by 7 5/8. So I'm going to go ahead and just pick out 7 more of my favorite designs that I want to keep whole. Okay, so check my measurements so that I cut them all correct, and that looks good. 5 5/8 by 7 5/8. I'm going to find 7 of my favorite designs. Okay, so I picked out my favorites and I cut them 5 5/8 by 7 5/8. And I went ahead and punched the corners. I put them in the order that I liked. It wasn't too, like, all the same themes and all the same colors weren't together. And I'm going to go ahead and put these in the book. And then what I like to do is coordinate the opposite page with this page here. And you can do that by theme or color, depending on how you have your album organized. I think that one cut a little crooked, but it'll be okay. I like this one. And the best part about this is because it's a 6-inch album, your pages are only 5 5/8. You have a whole half of a 12 by 12 paper and then some to use on the other side, on the mats, on the tags, etc. And you'll always have a piece of coordinating paper and if you need it. And I put this one towards the middle, the front middle, because it's very similar to the one in the back and I don't want them close together. Or you could do the exact opposite. You could have put him on the front here And then, you know, her on the back, which would have been cool, or you could have put him over here so it kind of matched. That would have been cool too. I was going for more random, not random. I love the back of this paper, but I love the front of it too, so glad I get to use the other side also. And then I have the 6x6 pad too. I just thought of for one of these. I'm gonna dig that out. I'm pretty sure I do, because it has pinks on it, which I thought was really neat. I think it's the Ciao Bella one, because they're 6x6 paper. They're not paper pads, but they're coordinating papers. Are super cool. My ATG is not agreeing with me here. They have different colors in them that the 12x12s don't have, which is really nice when you're just trying to change it up a little bit. It has complementary colors. And this clock one, yeah, I got it right. I had to cut the top and the bottom and one side off to get the clock image on there, which is okay. It'll all go pretty fast after this. Because you remember you got 2 of each page, so you can cut 2 pages at a time when you're matting. I like how it goes off the page that way. That page we already did. And we can always add belly bands and stuff over here, flaps, even though we've covered the entire thing. If you were going to add a lot over here, I wouldn't cover it first. Let me... Probably. Well, let's do a couple pages and then I'll look for that. Okay, so like I said, I like matching here, and so that is a C1, but I have the gears and stuff of like the clock face. That's definitely a contender. And then he opens, he has something here too. This other side of this clock face fits perfect there. Already cut this way, and if I cut the top and bottom off, it's, you can get like the entire clock in there. How about we do that? I think I'm just gonna make a little mark here where I want to cut. some of the plastic here. And the big one was going off of the page this way. But I think I want him to go off the page that way. Ooh, kind of like that too. I won't be able to use any of this paper, at least not a large amount, because that was the other half of that. Oh, unless it's on the back of the cover too. Okay, so I'm going to line this up with the edge of this pocket, leaving about a 1/16 of an inch sliver. There we go. I have this piece here. I'm not going to use it though because it matches this too much. We'll get these strips later because they're going to be very small strips that can come from scraps of any size nearly. Okay, so how about, I'm not sure about that one. How about, since everything is so busy here, oh, I think I have a doggy that needs to go out. Okay, so these are smaller. So I'm gonna leave those. Because we can fit scraps here. Let's go to the next big page, and that's going to be these 3 surfaces here. 1, 2, 3. And I have the other side of this paper that I so definitely want to use here, which is this paper. And that is going to be 7 3/8 by 5 1/8. Just double check my measurements. Okay, and then we have to stub punch the corners. And then again on the back, 7 3/8 by 5 1/8. I think let's do a stripe. Now watch which way you want your stripes going. I want mine going up and down vertically. Stub punch 2 sides. Okay, and now I got this one yet to do, but let's do the same 7 3/8 by 5 3/8 here. Oh, no, not there. Where's this one? So it's the train paper, and I have this train paper, but I think I may not do that. But I do have this. So let's put let's go with I want to go with something a little more plain. How about this one? I want 5 1/8 by 7 3/8. I almost cut it wrong. Well, I cut it wrong that way, but that's only 1/4 of an inch. Do you want the? I think I want the distress at the top. And I know I'm jumping around from page to page, but if you do your bigger pages first, it will make one big difference. I forgot to punch these corners to begin with. There we go. And this one, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and use this. 7 1/8, 7 3/8, 5 1/8. I was trying not to use the whole thing because of the cutouts on the back, but there are plenty of tags and stuff in this album, so, or in these paper packs. I'm not too horribly worried about it. Alright. I think I may do something here. I'm not sure what yet. Okay, let's go to this big flap here. So the front and back of this one's the next biggest. Okay, so I decided for this page, we're going to use this train here. And sorry for the panting, it's hot here and my dogs are trying to find somewhere comfy to lay. So this one I'm going to cut 5 inches by 7 1/8. I'll try that one. And I cut off the fleur-de-lis on the top of that clock, which I'm kind of sad about, but it's still okay. Stub punch all 4 corners on this guy. She's fluffing the carpet. Just trying to find a place to lay down. It's 88 degrees out. Only one of my dogs are shaved. The other one has to wait till mid-July, and I don't even know if the other one, the third one, will get it. to, I don't know, they're quite hot. All right. I could have cut it a little further here, but I can always make up for that. If I would have cut it at 5 inches, I cut it a little short, so 5 by 7 1/8 or 5 1/16 by 7 1/8 would have worked. And then on the other side, I'm going to put this green stripe. And I like my stripes to run vertical like always. And we've decided stub punch on all 4 corners. No. That fits better. Adding the paper to the album is really like the turning point of the album. I mean, it just changes it completely. Okay, so this one is for, this one has the clocks on it. This one, we put a pocket on. I hope we didn't have a pocket on this one. If so, I just I put, yep, that's that one. Oh. Okay, well, on this one I put a pocket on the page. On this one I put a pocket on the flap, so whatever. Doesn't matter. Let's see here. So let's find some clock coordinating paper here. I put my smaller scraps in one pile and my bigger scraps in another. Yeah, so for the inside, let's use this paper. And this is a bit different measurement, so this is going to be 4 7/8 by, let's start at 7 5/8. See how that is. That looks good. And this is a busy paper, but it's going to be covered up for the most part. Until you open that flap. Okay, and then back to the original. I think I want to put this on there. Okay. phone dinged, so, and then the car drove by. My dogs decided they needed to bark at it, so I had to turn off the camera, or turn off the sound. And I really like how Stamperia uses the back of their paper pads. Back of their front sheet. This is the back of their back sheet. It's really nice. It's that clock. I was like, oh, I won't be able to use that because I used it all on here, but I could because they included that. Okay. So So I want to use this plain paper on here, but I don't have enough. So let's go ahead and make a pocket, a sideways pocket here. I'm going to go ahead and cut about 1.5 inches off this way. So if I want to use it in one of these, I can. Again, it's 7.5. Cut the 7.5 first, and then cut it's almost 4.5 inches. We'll cut it down to 3 inches. So we can use this here if we want, or on a different one. Okay, so I found this, which is perfect. It is 2.5 by 8.5 long. We're gonna score at 1/2 inch on both sides. Oh, and exciting, I found my 6x6. Okay, so we can go ahead and put this down. And then this one is going to be, I just measured it 2.5 by 7.5, so we'll just have to find something to mat this with. And that's probably perfect. And it's the continuation of this, so how perfect did that work out? I'm gonna take about 1/4 inch off the bottom. Let me see how all these little ones kind of fit. Okay, now I think that's all the big full pages. These have the pockets we have to get. Those have pockets. Okay, so all the big full pages are done. We still have plenty of paper left. Then again, we did use 2 packs, but I'll show you. Lots of paper left. Now, because I do have this paper, let's cut out some of these. We'll put that aside. And And the 4x6s we'll put aside. Cut those out. Okay, so yeah, let's go ahead and do that. Okay. This is really stark white against this, so I'm thinking I need to save that for maybe a tag and do just a design here. But I prefer a lighter one. So this is where all these offcuts come in. I still have two big pieces of paper here. One of them being the back of the cover. And then I have obviously the full sheets. Okay. So this one, it's a train. How about this one? I like that one. 4 3/4. Okay. Stub the corner. And you can leave this as long as you want. It just tucks right underneath that pocket. My ATG gun just freaked out, so I'll use my spare adhesive. This side would have worked too. Actually, nah, not good. And then let's let's go ahead and break into this here. And that is going to be 3.5 by 4 7/8. I can always use these little ones as tags, especially since that is just so stark white. it'll stand out, but if it's a tag, it's okay. Okay, I'm gonna go back to the beginning and just start matting now. So this side is pretty busy. How about we put a... I like this for up here. It's going to be 4 7/8, and it has to at least be 4 1/2. And I like that that introduces some different color into this page. And I think I've gathered a collection of strips here. So we can start matting this little piece here too. Let's do... Oh, I didn't want to do that one because it's too much. It's too similar. But this one's too short. This one will work. That one's too short also. How about this one? Yep. And usually they're like the perfect size because they come off of a from an offcut from something else that you've done. Oh, I could use this side. I like this side better. Okay. And then let's go for, I like this paper with this. It's the back side, so of course it's going to coordinate. This is 3 1/2, so I'm cutting it at 3 3/8. I think it's 4 7/8. That was not 3 1/2. It was 3 1/2. I think I cut that too short. Which is going to be... Alright, well, I cut it too short, but I am not going to recut this because I want this bicycle on the back. But what I can do is use this as a layering. Or I can move this up here. I can use this as a pocket. Let's use it as a tuck spot. Okay, so this is going to go down flat the way it is. I'm going to fix my ATG real quick. I almost did it. Okay. That there. And then I'm going to cut this to 4 7/8 on either side of this cloth. Okay, and then it gets a stub punch in the corner. And okay, so you just make this a pocket by gluing down on 3 sides. And if you want to Make sure something will fit in it. Take a couple scrap pieces of paper while it's drying and stick them inside there. Okay. And that's going to be fine. Now, the back side, I wanted to put this bicycle. Four and 7/8 by 3.5. And then see if I can find that clock hat paper. Or I can use, no, that's too much. This, I like that. Alright, so there's the first page done. I'm surprised I didn't already do this here. May have to bust into another piece of paper unless these scraps here I'm gonna toss. Wait, I'm gonna keep that one. It's pretty big. That one's pretty big. Okay, so I like to clean up every once in a while. If not, my desk gets so messed up. I only have this pattern left for the big ones, so we can always add a pocket to that if we didn't want to break into another piece of paper. But I kind of like this one. And I'm not afraid to break into another piece of paper. So this is going to be a 4 7/8 by 7.5, I think. Perfect. I like that. And this side would have been neat too. I personally don't like bugs. And I know it gives a certain kind of feeling to the paper, like to the entire thing, but I don't want to look at them, honestly. Okay, let's see if I can find, I've got to put these strips that don't fit aside. Now this one's a good candidate here. Yeah, let's go ahead and cut that at 7 7/8. And it was 7 3/8. Sometimes it's hard to see where your page ends and where the next one begins. And I cut this too short. I'm not worried about it. Okay, now these, I'm gonna, this goes here. Predetermined, that goes there. I'm gonna go ahead before I forget and use it on something else. We have those full sheets of paper left too. We can always mat our big photo mats. Okay. And the one that I just messed up on is driving me nuts. I have to take it off and redo it. If you can't get it off, your glue's already stuck, just put one over it. Alright. We have a casualty. That one's going in the trash. This is the right size. Let's go ahead and use that. It is the chest paper. So it was meant to be. I probably should have used the opposite side, but that's okay. I still can't see it. Okay, good enough. Now it's good enough. Okay, so now this one is the double pocket here, and we have to do at least 2 inches by 7 5/8, right? So let's find our bigger strips. Is that one 2 inches? I don't think that's long enough. But it will be a contender for this here. It's not. It's this one. That one's not long enough. I don't think I have any 2-inch strips. Okay. So you're not gonna see much. Let's go ahead and use this bug paper that I cringe at. We're gonna go 7 5/8 first, giving ourselves a good size piece. And I'm going to go ahead and cut 2 inches twice, one for the next page, the other page like this. And I'm going to use the bug paper I don't like, guys. There we go. But it's mostly going to be covered, so... Okay, and then, so your side pockets here and at the bottom. And ahead and do the next one. They're overlapping a little in the center, but that's okay. I don't mind. I think my glue is sticking. There, that's better. Okay, so go ahead and use, not that. How about this? I'm gonna cut like an inch and a half off of this. It's just got some of the glue stuck to it. You can always cut a strip off, which is what I'm going to do because I can't get that off. And then stab punch. Double-sided paper is pretty neat. Sometimes it stinks because you're like, oh, I wanted to use that other side. And then sometimes it's just awesome because you can get so much variety out of not so much paper. Okay, while those are drying the rest of the way, I'm going to do the next one, which is my double pocket. And we'll use this one for this. There's that. And I'll use the opposite side of, that's long enough. I'll use the opposite side of this. Out of that one paper, we're going to get 3 unique strips that can go in here. Because this is the back side, this is the front side, but then the front side was also this, so it's a unique strip. Okay. And then this one, instead of overlapping them in the middle, I'm going to split the difference and let them stick off the side. Probably both of them about 1/16 of an inch. And I think I knew that when I made the pages, but because that was last week, I have forgotten. And that's going to work a little better, I think. Since they do hang off just a tiny bit each side, but you don't have that big bulge in the middle. Now, this we do have plenty of paper to use on these. But let's do some of the bigger stuff first. Let's do this. I'm going to go ahead and I wanted to make this a belly band. So we can definitely do that. Yeah, let's do that. For 3/4, that's 3.5. And this is, like I said, this is like a bonus piece of paper because it's just the back of the cover, which is cool that they do that. And then, I'll have this paper fit. It's too short. Bummer. Let's go. That one doesn't fit. Not this one. It's going to be covered. I was going to use that green, but it had stripes on it, and I didn't want it to compete with this stripe here. This one has big stripes on it. Okay. I think I've used everything. What's this one? This one I can use. Okay. That works. It has stripes on it too, but there's just so little of it showing. And it's a bit long, but it's not going to matter. It's going to get tucked down in there. Okay, and then when we get done matting these, and I'll do this off camera, I'm going to fussy cut some of the tags and some of the other elements from the paper packages. Okay. Let's kind of go through, see what still needs done. This needs done. That one's not long enough. My two little pockets on each one of those need done. So how about that? I like that. You can just do one big thing across there, but I like keeping them separate. So that's going to be 3 3/4 by 2 7/8. Do I want it like this? Yes. I'm going to cut it 3 7/8 to start. It's a little long. I'm taking the 16th off. There we go.